Now, I'm not saying don't move on and be happy and shit like that. But like, is that really something that you can recover from? YouTube, we back with another video. And today, we're gonna be reacting to this story will give you chills. No movie can top this story. True crime documentary. And before we start this video, I'm gonna start by saying when I was younger, I would never watch FBI, CSI, like none of that shit. My mom, she would watch it. I walk in the room, like, bro, I'm getting out of there, cause it would give me nightmares. But like the older I got, bro, this shit's so interesting. But it's also still spooky. But I'm over the age of 21, so I keep glick, I keep pole. So like, I'm not about none of this shit. Like, you hear me? But if you like the content, you know what to do. If you don't like the content, you know what to do. Wow. That shit a little loud, ain't it? Chill out there, Woody. Chill out there, Woody.
On a quiet summer night in
Off the
July 2007,
muscle.
the peaceful town of Cheshire, Connecticut,
Homie, lock
became
in.
the scene of one of the most horrific crimes in American history. What began as a chance encounter
Damn,
at a
that's quiet.
supermarket would escalate into a 7-hour nightmare that claimed 3 innocent lives and exposed devastating failures in the criminal justice system. This is the story of the Petit family, a story of unimaginable terror, survival, and a community forever changed. But it's also a story that forces us to confront difficult questions about repeat offenders, parole systems, and whether justice was truly served.
Uh-oh. Damn. Warning, attention to this information about... It don't matter how fast you read, you was not finna get that in, cause I swear to wallahi you wasn't. I got 6 words.
Are you ready for the darkest stories Britain has to offer?
Yeah.
Introducing our new book, Unreal Truth.
Sniper game, Kodak, come on. Right on cue with it. Bro, this shit loud, but then when I turn it down, it's gonna get quiet again.
The Petit family represented the American dream. Dr.
White picket
William
fence
Petit
type shit.
Jr. was a respected endocrinologist who had practiced in Plainville, Connecticut since 1989. Born on September 24, 1956, in Southington, Connecticut, William grew up in a family deeply involved in their community. His father ran a general store and served on the school board and town council. After graduating from Dartmouth College, William attended the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine, where his life would change forever. In 1985, while working as a third-year medical student at Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh, he met Jennifer Hawk, a new oncology nurse at the same hospital. Their connection was immediate, and they married on April 13, 1985 in Meadville, Pennsylvania.
Damn.
Jennifer, born September 26, 1958.
And matter of fact, hold on. I know I just said damn. I gotta be more mature, cause I had that Stacey Dash video. If you hear, maybe you seen that video. If not, where I'm at, I'm gonna put that bit in this video right now as I'm talking about it. It's gonna pop up. Like I said, I'm taking heed to, you feel me. But anyway, I had a nigga saying that he was about Stacey, what was her name? Stacey Dash, yeah. He was about her age. Shout out Aunt them. And I mean that with the utmost respect, bit, bro. So it's like, she was 58. I gotta be more courteous to my audience, my viewers. You feel me? The community. You, me, I'm you. We us. Type shit. We won. You feel me?
Morristown, New Jersey, brought warmth.
I say all that to say that I retract my damn.
And dedication to everything she did. She became the co-director of the health center at Cheshire Academy, a private boarding school where she was beloved by students and staff. Despite being diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, Jennifer never let her condition define her. Instead, she sclerosis students and staff. Despite being diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, Jennifer never let her condition define her. Instead,
You know what that is? Shit, I don't. Fuck. I can't even spell that to Google it. Hold on.
where she was beloved by students and staff. Despite being diagnosed with multiple sclerosis,
Multiple. Siri. Siri. Hey Siri. Oh, this bitch can't hear me? Why is it not working? Hey Siri. What is multiple? Damn. Hold on. What was the word? Hold on.
Escher Academy, a private boarding school where she was beloved by students and staff. Despite being diagnosed with multiple sclerosis,
Multiple. Hey Siri. What is multiple sclerosis? Here we go. It's an autoimmune disease resulting in damage of melanin, which is a insulating covers. All right, man. Long story short, bruh, something about her brain and her spinal cord. Multiple sclerosis. Hey, if you got it, I hate that for you because I can't even say the shit, G. I
Jennifer
can't.
never let her condition define her. Instead, she turned
Persevering.
it into a cause that would inspire her entire family.
I respect that.
The Petits had two daughters who were the pride of their lives. Haley Elizabeth, born October 15th,
Damn.
1989, was
And I'm not saying damn to that. I'm saying damn because it's close to my birthday. She ain't even said a year yet. So chill out. I'm not talking about unking them. My shit October 3rd. So that shit like what 12 days apart. That shit just,
17 years old in the summer of 2007. She had just graduated from the prestigious Miss Porter's School in Farmington, where she excelled in everything she touched. Haley ran varsity cross country, played basketball and crew, maintained a spot on the high honor roll, and was elected Athletic Association head, a senior leadership position. She had been accepted to Dartmouth College, her father's alma mater, where she
it's a
planned
good
to study
family.
medicine and continue the family legacy of service. But Haley's greatest passion was fighting multiple sclerosis in honor of her mother. She
She has it
captained
too.
a walk MS team called Haley's Hope and won a school award for exceptional community service. Her dedication to this cause would become part of her lasting legacy. 11-year-old Michaela Rose Petit, born November 17, 1995, was the family's creative spirit. She
Okay.
attended Chase Collegiate School in Waterbury and loved cooking, often preparing elaborate meals for her family. On July 22, 2007, she went shopping with her mother to buy ingredients for a special dinner she planned to cook that evening. Michaela had already decided that when Haley left for college, she would take over the MS fundraising team and rename it Michaela's Miracle. The Petits were deeply embedded in their community. Their home on Sorghum Mill Road in Cheshire was a place of warmth, achievement, and hope. They had built a
Could drop the whole load.
life that many would envy: successful careers, bright children, and a strong commitment to making the world better. But unknown to them, they had been noticed by two men who would destroy everything they had built.
Them niggas look like they up no good. The one right here above me look like. Tell me I'm lying. Them boys look just the same. Then this nigga look like. He look just like Buddy. That's crazy.
Joshua Komisarjevsky was 26 years old in 2007 with a history of burglary convictions and drug abuse. Born on August 10, 1980, he had been adopted by Ben and Jude Komisarjevsky into a family with deep ties to the arts. His grandfather was the renowned theater director Theodore Komisarjevsky, but
Bro, how is everybody just born in great families? The fuck?
Joshua's life had taken a dark turn. He had spent years in and out of the criminal justice system, and by July 2007, he was on parole. Stephen Hayes, 44 years old, had an even longer criminal record dating back to a burglary conviction in 1981 when he was still a teenager.
In 81, he was a teen, so yeah, you know what they say. The first time you get caught isn't the first time you normally do something. So he's probably doing that for a while.
Born on May 30th, 1963, Hayes had spent much of his adult life cycling through the prison system. Court documents would later reveal a disturbing pattern of cruelty that began in childhood, including severe abuse toward his younger brother.
Mm.
The two men had met through a halfway house drug treatment program. Both were supposed to be under supervision, monitored by the parole system designed to protect the public.
And probably
But on
wasn't.
July 22nd, 2007, they were free to walk the streets of Cheshire, planning their next crime.
Crazy.
Sunday evening, July 22nd, 2007, seemed like any other summer day. Jennifer Petit took 11-year-old Michaela to a local supermarket. Michaela was excited about the special dinner she planned to cook for her family. As they shopped for ingredients, they had no idea they were being watched. Joshua Komisarjevsky spotted them in the store. Later testimony and trial evidence would reveal that he followed Jennifer and Michaela from the supermarket back to their home on Sorghum Mill Road. He observed the family, their routine, their beautiful home. He saw opportunity. He saw targets. That evening, Komisarjevsky contacted Stephen Hayes. At 7:45 p.m., Hayes sent a
Bro, niggas is so weird. Like, you can't even go to the store? Like, gee, you telling me, like, I'm walking in Walmart, like, I'm at risk? I mean, I ain't no bad bitch, so hopefully not. Hopefully niggas ain't just gonna fuck with me, because I'm, I'm CuhMyFaultReacts. Like, I'm nobody. You feel me? I'm nobody. So it's like, at what point does it cross your mind to be like, hey, I'm gonna follow this person home and do something to him? Like a random person. That's crazy. Niggas is weird.
chilling text
Niggas is
message.
weird.
I'm chomping at the bit to get started. Need a margarita soon.
Really.
Over the next hour and a half, between 8:45 p.m. and 9:20 p.m., the two men exchanged texts that prosecutors would later use as evidence of premeditation.
I
They
bet
were
they did.
joking, planning, anticipating what they were about to do. Police later reported that the pair may have even gone shopping for implements, an air rifle, and rope after seeing the girls at the supermarket. They were methodically preparing for a home invasion. The Petit family went to sleep that night with no idea that two violent criminals had marked them for destruction. The exact timing of the initial entry remains somewhat disputed in official records. A Connecticut Supreme Court summary places the entry at around 2 a.m. on Monday, July 23rd. Other police reports and contemporaneous news coverage describe the break-in as occurring shortly after 3 a.m. What is clear is that Hayes and Komisarjevsky entered the Petit home in the early morning
It's finna get
darkness.
good.
Dr. William Petit was sleeping on a couch on the first floor, having dozed off after watching television. He was suddenly awakened by a devastating blow to his head with a baseball bat they had found in the home. The attack was brutal and immediate. William was dragged to the basement, disoriented and bleeding. The intruders bound him with rope and pillowcases, ensuring he couldn't
Whoa.
escape or call for help.
I'm working.
They beat him repeatedly. Later medical evidence would document severe injuries, head trauma, facial fractures, and extensive bruising. But somehow, William remained conscious, trapped in his own basement while the nightmare unfolded upstairs. Jennifer and the two girls were herded into their bedrooms and tied to their beds. The intruders told them this was just a robbery, that if everyone cooperated, no one would be hurt. It was a lie that would be repeated throughout the ordeal, a cruel psychological tactic to maintain control while they methodically planned something far more sinister.
That's
For
insane.
approximately 6 to 7 hours, the Petit family endured unimaginable terror. The intruders
He said, how
ransacked the
many?
Petit family endured For approximately 6 to 7 hours, the Petit family endured unimaginable terror. The intruders ransacked the house, searching for valuables, credit cards, bank information. They demanded to know where money was kept, what accounts the family had access to. All the while, they kept the family separated, bound, and terrified. At some point during this period, Stephen Hayes left the house and went to a nearby gas station. Surveillance video captured him purchasing $10 worth of gasoline in containers taken from the Petit garage. This wasn't for a getaway vehicle. It was for something far more horrific. As
Was he finna waterboard him with gasoline?
morning broke on July 23rd, the situation escalated into its most critical phase. The intruders had decided to force Jennifer to go to the bank and withdraw money.
Oh
It
man,
was around 9 a.m. when Stephen Hayes drove Jennifer to the Bank of America on Maplecroft Plaza in Cheshire, holding her hostage in her own vehicle. Jennifer knew
that's
she was in
crazy.
grave danger. She knew her family was being held in the home, but she also saw an opportunity to get help. When she entered the
It's the only opportunity. Even if
bank,
you, even if you give them what they want, bro, they've already done this for 6, 7 hours. Man, you got to give it. Say it's not your chance to blow. You're the once in a lifetime, yo. I'm talking about you gotta take that chance, baby.
she managed to communicate to bank personnel that something was desperately wrong. The bank manager immediately recognized the danger Jennifer was in. At 9:21 a.m., while Jennifer was still at or near the teller window, the bank manager called 911. He tracked Jennifer's movements in real time, updating the dispatcher as she completed the forced withdrawal. At 9:25 a.m., the dispatcher relayed critical details to a supervising officer. 1 minute
There we go.
later, at 9:26 a.m., a broadcast went out to all Cheshire police units with vehicle information and the license plate number. The wheels of law enforcement were now in motion. Police were dispatched toward both the bank area and the Petit residence. But for the
We
family
working.
trapped inside the house, time was running out. When Hayes returned to the house with Jennifer and the withdrawn money, the situation inside had already deteriorated beyond imagination. While Hayes had been at the bank, Komisarjevsky had assaulted Michaela. He had taken explicit photographs with his cell phone, evidence that would later be crucial in proving the depraved nature of these crimes. Jennifer was also assaulted. The medical examiner would later confirm that both mother and youngest daughter had been victimized in the most horrific ways possible. The intruders had never intended to simply rob the family and leave. They had planned something far more permanent.
This nigga's sick, bro. These niggas is sick, bro.
The men knew police were likely coming. The bank manager's call had started a countdown they couldn't stop. Rather than flee and abandon their victims alive,
Don't say
Hayes
it.
and Komisarjevsky made a decision that would seal their fate as two of the most hated criminals in Connecticut history.
They killed him.
They doused the house with the gasoline Hayes had purchased. They poured it around the beds where Haley and Michaela lay tied and helpless. Then they set the house on fire. Jennifer Hawk Petit, 48 years old, didn't die in the flames. She was strangled to death, a final act of violence before the fire could consume her. Her daughters, 17-year-old Haley and 11-year-old Michaela, died from smoke inhalation as the flames
Oh
spread
my
rapidly through the
god,
home. They were conscious when the fire started. They knew they were going to die. In
that's
the basement,
crazy.
Dr. William Petit was still bound but conscious. The smell of smoke filtered down to him. He could hear the sounds above. Summoning strength he didn't know he had, despite his severe injuries, William managed to free himself from his restraints. He crawled to a basement window, kicked it open, and escaped to a neighbor's yard. He collapsed on their porch, bloody and barely conscious, but alive. Cheshire police arrived at the Petit residence to a scene of chaos. The house was visibly burning. Just as they arrived, they saw two men exit the house and get into a vehicle in the driveway. These were Hayes and Komisarjevsky, attempting to flee the scene of their crimes.
Mm-hmm. We on that
What
ass.
happened next unfolded in seconds. The suspects started the vehicle and began to back out.
And I say we because don't get me wrong, bro. By no stretch of the imagination, am I a cop. However, in situations like this, when niggas is doing criminal activities to civs, that's where I have a problem. Nor am I a hard, tough guy gangbang. I'm none of that, bro. So like I take everything I say with a grain of salt. You feel me? I'm type nigga, man. I wouldn't even bust a grape. You feel me? Type. But like I'm not with none of that shit, bro. So, but like if you claim something and you get killed by the other side, that's different because that's what y'all do. These was just random people living their life that is randomly got selected on some Squid Game shit, and then they got eliminated on some Squid Game shit. This is crazy.
Police moved to block their exit. Rather than surrender, the suspects rammed their vehicle into multiple police cruisers, trying desperately to escape.
Damn,
But
my
the
leg
collisions
itch.
disabled their vehicle. They were trapped. At gunpoint, both Stephen Hayes and Joshua Komisarjevsky were taken into custody.
Yeah, get over
They
here.
were arrested at the scene while firefighters rushed to battle the blaze, consuming the Petit home. When firefighters finally suppressed the fire and could safely enter, they discovered what everyone had feared. Three bodies were found inside. Jennifer, Haley, and Michaela had all perished. The only survivor was Dr. William Petit, who had been transported to the hospital with life-threatening injuries.
It's fucking crazy. Fucking
Multiple
sickos.
scenes had to be secured. The bank where Jennifer had made her desperate silent plea for help, the burning home where three women had died, and the collision site where the suspects had been arrested. The Cheshire Police Department, Connecticut State Police Central District Major Crime Squad, and the State Fire Marshal's Office all responded to what had become one of the most heinous crimes in Connecticut history. The
I'm trying.
investigation that followed built an overwhelming case against both perpetrators. Text messages between Hayes and Komisarjevsky from the night before the crime showed clear premeditation. Their joking, anticipatory messages
Bro, the thing is, I don't think you needed the messages to determine the fact that it was premeditated. At what point is it an accident to walk inside of somebody's house, leave, go to the gas station, come back with gasoline, pour gas in the house, and catch it on fire? At what point is that an accident? Like, you didn't need the text messages to tell you that, I don't think, unless I'm missing something.
about getting started demolished any defense that this had been a burglary that spontaneously escalated. The cell phone belonging to Joshua Komisarjevsky contained photographs that were almost too disturbing to describe.
God,
Digital images showed the victims bound and included explicit photos of the assault of Michaela. Technology expert John Farnham testified about these images at trial, and they became crucial evidence linking Komisarjevsky directly to the assault charges.
that's
Bank
crazy.
surveillance video showed Hayes with Jennifer during the forced withdrawal. Gas station surveillance showed Hayes with Jennifer during the forced withdrawal. Bank surveillance video showed Hayes with Jennifer
I
during
don't
the
see him.
forced withdrawal. Gas
That's
station
crazy.
surveillance showed Hayes purchasing the gasoline shortly before the arson.
I mean, it
The
makes sense.
timeline was
It makes sense on why he would be there, because if not, it would be too easy for them. But see, I was under the impression that he was like in the whip, sent her in, and he's like watching. You feel me, on some shit, on some Eagle shit. Like, but you better not say nothing. And if you do, ooh, bitch, you gon' get it. You know what I'm talking about? Like, that's what I thought.
airtight. Medical examiner Wayne Carver provided testimony about the causes of death. Jennifer had been strangled. Haley and Michaela had died from smoke inhalation, their bodies found in their burned beds where they had been tied. The physical evidence from the fire scene showed ropes, restraints, and the accelerant patterns that
This is a kitchen.
proved arson. Perhaps most damning, laboratory officials testified that blood samples showed neither Hayes nor Komisarjevsky had alcohol or illegal drugs in their systems.
These niggas
There
did this
was
shit
no
sober.
intoxication defense. They had been completely aware of their actions. On Tuesday, July 24, 2007, just one day after the murders, both suspects were arraigned in Meriden Superior Court. The state announced charges including kidnapping, burglary, arson, robbery, larceny, and assault.
I was gonna say, where does kidnapping come in? But I assume that's when they took her to the bank. Because when you take somebody willfully or unwillfully X amount of feet, it's considered kidnapping. That I do know. I think it's like 500 feet or some shit, some little shit. But other than that, because I mean, from what I heard, they never left the house other than to go to the bank. So I don't know how
Each
you
was
would get
held on
kidnapping.
$15 million bond.
Damn.
By Thursday, July 26, 2007, prosecutors announced they would seek the death penalty.
You
Both
damn
men
right.
were formally charged with 6 capital felony counts, charges that
Get them.
made them eligible for execution under Connecticut law at the time. Stephen Hayes went to trial first. His trial began on September 13, 2010, more than
2010,
3
September
years
10th.
after the crime. On October
How fat?
5, 2010, the jury found him guilty on all counts.
Little less than a
On
month.
November 8, 2010, the jury recommended the death penalty. On December
When they said,
2, 2010, Judge John
damn,
Blue formally sentenced Hayes to death.
they was moving quick on him.
Joshua Komisarjevsky's trial began on September 19, 2011. On September 22nd, jurors heard his recorded confession. On September 28th, they saw the text messages and heard medical examiner testimony about evidence of Michaela's assault. His defense team presented evidence of the abuse Komisarjevsky had suffered, hoping for mitigation in sentencing. The jury was unmoved. Komisarjevsky was also found guilty and sentenced to death. Both men would sit on Connecticut's death row, their appeals dragging through the courts while Dr. William Petit tried to rebuild a shattered life. The Petit murders became a watershed moment for Connecticut. On
Yeah, that's
July
some sad shit.
28, 2007, just 5 days after the murders, thousands attended a memorial service where Dr. William Petit eulogized his
I just forgot. He was he survived. The dad survived. Bro, I thought they were finna say he offed himself or some shit right there. Cause honestly, bro, that's some tragic shit. You lose 2 of your daughters, your wife, your youngest and your wife get raped, and your house gets burned down. You have nothing. Like, fuck.
family. A
Fuck.
community gathered at Central Connecticut
And
State University.
you're a good dude. You're a good guy. You're a good guy, man. Like, went to college. Like, did what you're supposed to do, bro. Like, what the?
To mourn 3 lives taken too soon. In the months that followed, the outpouring of support was extraordinary. On
It
January
should have
6,
been.
2008, the Cheshire Lights of Hope event saw more than 130,000 luminaria candles lit in memory of Jennifer, Haley, and Michaela. The Petit Family Foundation was established to continue the charitable work, especially the MS advocacy that had meant so much to the family. Then came an unexpected turn. On April 25, 2012, Connecticut enacted legislation that prospectively repealed the death penalty for crimes committed on or after that date. The new law didn't affect Hayes and Komisarjevsky,
Okay.
whose crimes had occurred in 2007. They remained on death row.
Good.
But in 2015, the Connecticut Supreme
Don't say they
Court
let him
issued
appeal
a
it.
landmark ruling in a case called State versus Santiago. The court held that executing prisoners for crimes committed before the 2012 repeal would constitute cruel and unusual punishment under the Connecticut state constitution. All death sentences were to be converted to life imprisonment without the possibility of release. In June 2016, Stephen Hayes was resentenced by Judge John Blue to 6 consecutive life terms
Damn.
without the possibility of release, plus an additional 106 years on related charges. Judge
Damn. Goodness gracious. They gave this nigga 6 life terms and 106 years additional. Nigga, you not surviving the 106 years. Let alone the 6, like, what?
Judge Blue's words at resentencing were final and absolute. With the gravity of these crimes and the depravity of your character, nothing more needs to be said.
That's what's supposed to happen, though.
On
It's
July
some shit like
26,
this.
2016,
Let's hear this.
Joshua Komisarjevsky received the same sentence, 6 consecutive life terms.
They gave these niggas the Ooh-wee. They lit that ass on fire.
Without the possibility of release. Both men will die in prison. There
Damn
will be
right.
no parole hearings, no chances for release,
Absolutely
no
not.
possibility of freedom.
Mm-mm.
The Cheshire Home invasion stands as one of the most brutal crimes in American history. It exposed failures in the parole system, sparked debates about the death penalty, and left a community forever scarred. But perhaps more importantly, it showed us the preciousness of life and the devastating consequences when evil goes unchecked. Dr. William Petit survived physically, but he lost everything that mattered most.
That's what I'm saying.
In the years following the tragedy, he has shown remarkable resilience. He has since remarried and had children.
Now, I'm not saying don't move on and be happy and shit like that. But, like, is that really something that you can recover from? Personally? I don't know, bro. I don't know if I'd have been able to be at the memorial, G. I might have been a part of it. Like, nigga, both your daughters, your wife, and your house is burned down? And you're getting remarried and having kids? Bro, you know that type of torture, not even torture, the PTSD you should have? Random night, nigga, you just sleeping in your house as you normally do? 2 niggas just running your shit? Yeah, nah. You got it.
Working tirelessly
raw.
to honor his first family's memory through continued charitable work. The Petit Family Foundation continues to support causes that were dear to Jennifer, Haley, and Michaela, particularly in the areas of education and multiple sclerosis research. William has become a powerful advocate for victims' rights and criminal justice reform. He has testified before legislative committees, spoken at conferences, and worked with lawmakers to strengthen parole supervision and improve the criminal justice system's ability to protect the public.
I'm gonna end it right here, man, because from what I'm seeing, I don't think there's gonna be too much more information that I want to hear. But with that being said, if you like the content, you know what to do. If you don't like the content, you know what to do. But If you made it this far, I think you like the content. So go ahead and hit that like button, and that subscribe button, and we're gonna have some more videos coming. And I'm talking about bangers. Yeah.